I've also been an advocate for affordable housing, again, partnering with many of you in this room. 16 years ago, I was part of the effort to make sure the Housing Production Trust Fund isn't just for folks at 80% of area median income, but actually serves families below 30% of area median income as well. And I'm, of course, frustrated that that law is not being followed. I've also been part of efforts every year to fight for more housing for our lowest income families, including working with Empower DC to do a report on the importance of public housing and the need to support that with public funds and make sure that it is not left in bad shape. And I've also been very active for years in challenging corporate power and pushback against the city. So some of you know me and got to know me 15 years ago when I led the effort with Chris Weiss at the DC Environmental Network to try to stop the city from paying for 100% of the cost of a baseball stadium. And I think that's where I met Eugene way back when. So we fought it, we almost won, pushing back against a terrible idea to spend city dollars subsidizing billionaires rather than investing in DC residents. More recently, I challenged the city's enormous subsidy at the wharf, hundreds of millions of dollars of subsidies where we didn't ask for anything in return in terms of good quality jobs, and where the affordable housing literally is $2,000 a month plus in rent or more. That is a shame, that is a sham, and that is not the kind of development or responsible development we need in this city.
Right.
I challenged the shameful decision of the DC Council last November to give $80 million to developers at Union Market,
Right.
without asking them to do anything in return in terms of good jobs, good wages. The council rejected an amendment to take some of that money and put it into affordable housing nearby, even though we know that's a gentrifying area and needs it. And the council passed it under the leadership of my opponent, even though an analysis from the city's finance office said no subsidies needed because this is a booming gentrifying area. That's the wrong kind of development in the city. And that's not the kind of development I want to do.
It's a giveaway.
So I'm running for office, and I've been very clear for day one that I'm running because I am concerned about gentrification, what it's doing to the city, and what it will do if we don't act urgently. I've been very explicit that I'm concerned about the shameful level of homelessness in the city, and that Black and brown residents are being displaced, and that we need to be doing more about it, that our leaders seem to be watching as it happens, and therefore really seem to be content as people get pushed out of the city and out of their homes, and that's wrong. And so I see the debate about the comp plan being part of that. And if it's okay, what I'd like to do is read just a few minutes, some excerpts from a statement that we put out in March about the comp plan, and we have some copies that we'll share later. I won't read the whole thing, but I will read some excerpts. So I wrote that we need to build a fair and stronger city with equitable growth that benefits everyone, starting with a comp plan focused on racial equity that prioritizes affordable housing for truly low-income families and protects the voice and role of community in land use decisions. Okay. The proposed comp plan changes will put the interest of developers ahead of the needs of residents, addressing developer concerns without addressing community concerns. Instead, the comp plan should put residents first. Community stakeholders need tools when they believe zoning decisions are not consistent with the comp plan, yet the updated framework element contains vague language that could give developers an upper hand in promoting their projects over community wishes. That should not stand. Any changes to the comp plan framework should create clarity, not fuzziness, that weakens the role of community stakeholders. Putting residents first also means placing a top priority on affordable housing. The comp plan should address the need for housing for our lowest income families, instead of small apartments that don't work for families, and vaguely defined affordable housing for those with incomes of up to $100,000. We should not tolerate the current comp plan proposal that silences or weakens the voice of the community in the development process. Thank you.